Hello and welcome back to Dumbo RC. So tonight I'm going to be doing a maintenance video. I've had to create in a while now. You might have seen in previous videos I have the inside taped and I actually use a hot glue gun to go around all the creases as well. Now that worked reasonably well. It wasn't massively successful. The actual hot glue gun actually dried too hard. So that means when it did take a couple of impacts it actually just popped off. So I'm going to change the tactic now. I've got a few splits in it. A few at the front, a couple at the back, a couple at the sides. So what I want to do now is, they're the worst ones at the back there really, and at the front. They haven't actually gone through the holes yet though, that's why I'm doing it now before they do. So I want to reinforce this. Now I'm going to be using the drywall tape and the shoe glue. This is just a version of the shoe glue but comes in a bigger pot. So that's what I'm going to use to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do it and how I've done it, and then hopefully you'll be able to do the same. So to start, what I'm going to do is lay this tape across the shell there. And then roughly trim it past the end there. Now you don't have to be exact because you can trim this afterwards. So make sure that's stuck down there. Squeeze it in to get it all into the tight spots. Okay. Next piece, once you start getting inside the car, it's actually easier just to cut it off first. And then I want to overlap that one by a little bit. And get it down. Now this isn't going to stick brilliantly first time, but that's what the actual glue is going to do. Once you've done that, these little bits here, if you have cut too much off, so a little bit like that, keep that to one side because you might be able to use that bit a little bit later on, especially when it gets to some of the more complicated corners. So I've overlapped that slightly. So what I'm going to do now is just keep doing the same, working my way through. So now we've got the whole lot covered. Some of it has gone over, sort of overlapped and then gone over others. It doesn't stick brilliantly to itself straight away, but don't worry about that. Make sure you've got all the bits in place. That's the important bit, because now what you're actually going to do is glue it to the body and to itself, all the overlaps and everything in one go. So what we're going to do is just spread out this glue using whatever you can. I probably will get in there with my fingers in a minute, but I'm just starting off with this. Spread it out all over a nice thin coat. Once you've got it all over and it starts getting that sort of little bit of tackiness, you can then start really pushing in to those angle bits and really get it in there. So I'll come back to you in a minute when I've got it all done. So that's the first round. Touch dry, left it sort of half an hour or so, and it's just not sticking to your fingers, and that's how you want it. It is still a little bit tacky, which actually makes it a little bit easier when you put your next round on, I think. So what we're going to do now is exactly the same again, but I'm going to go across the car, whereas most of the other ones went along the front, along the length of the car, apart from the front one. So I'll go across along the length of them then now. So exactly the same process, strips across, push it into the edges, and then glue back over the top. So as you can see, that's 2 coats done. Now, when I was doing this coat, I realised how rigid the body had actually got. So I was happy with 2 coats. What I did is I put a 3rd coat around the front and a 3rd coat around the back. Now, when I say 2 coats, I've overlapped everything. So there's probably more like 3 coats across the whole lot, and 4 coats at the front and the back there. So I'm more than happy with that. What I then did with the leftover glue, because what I wanted to do is make sure certain parts of it were as strong as possible. I chucked a load of glue at the front, on the sides, and at the back, and just re-glued over everything that I felt needed it. So now I'm going to leave this to dry completely hard, trim up the edges, which I'll show you in a minute. Now this glue is really, really quite hard. As it dries, it almost goes elastic, and that's why it's so good for this. It doesn't dry rock solid, and you can actually roll it into a little bit of a ball, which I've done over here. So this was from the 1st coat earlier. Now that is still elasticated, incredibly sticky, but elasticated. So that's why it's really good. So when you have a crash or anything like that, it doesn't crack. So I'll let this dry overnight, and then we'll come back, trim it up, and get it on the body, get it on the car. Right, okay, so we've left it overnight. Well, I've left it about 24 hours actually. It's all gone nice and dry, nice and hard, but the good thing is with this, obviously, because it is sort of a rubber-fied glue, it has still got lots of flex. So now that's all left to do is trim off all these top bits and then get it back on the car, and obviously cut out the holes for your body posts. Okay, so we're all done, all trimmed up around the edges, all nice, strong, flexible, and that should mean that it can take a lot more bashes now. So obviously what I use to cut around the little holes is a little craft knife sort of scalpel kit. Now this little kit here, I think it was actually from Poundland or something like that, but it's been an ideal little kit, it's really good. So if you're doing this, make sure you grab something along the lines of that, or a small craft knife just to be able to cut out the post and also get around some of the tight corners. I'm really pleased with this, and it's cost less than a tenner. Well, it's not even cost that. I think the glue tub was about £3 and the tape was about £3 as well, all from B&Q. So £6, all fully repaired. So that's it from Bournemouth RC tonight. Thank you very much. Good night.